Sunday. All right, got to turn on the live chat. There we go. What's this? All right, got to see. Yeah. Check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Cool. All right, we're running with sound. We're running with sound. Get rid of that. What's this button do? Oh, cool. Should we roll with it like that? What about like that? All right. It's now 4:05, so let's get started. So, the other day, we just kind of read news stories from the internet, and that seemed to go pretty well, so let's do the same thing. Excuse me. All right. Let's load this up. Man, not a lot going on this weekend. So, well, I know what we could talk about. So the Saints freaking lost today, 30-26, I think the score was. They had 2 sacks in the fourth quarter, and they were ahead, and they fucked it up, just like they always do in the fourth quarter. They never fail to choke in the end. They were up the whole game. The whole game. Let me pull it up. They had 3 sacks the whole game. It was awesome. They were kicking so much ass. 30-26, dropping down to 2-4. That was not good at all. Let's see if we got some highlights. Ouch. The New Orleans Saints came up small in too many critical moments against the Cincinnati Bengals, falling 2-4. They controlled the clock in the second half, but settled for field goals while the Bengals scored touchdowns, and it cost them the game. That's exactly what happened. I don't know how many of you guys are Saints fans, but I'm out here in Louisiana, and you got to be a Saints fan. No other team to root for. So anyway, let's break it down. Had some injuries, blah, blah, blah. All right, here's what happened at the end. It was over when the Saints went 3 and out late in the fourth quarter. They took the field on their own 25-yard line with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left. They had all 3 of their timeouts. This was pretty crazy. They just couldn't make third down conversions. There was a shanked punt, you know. It was bad. But anyway, what happened at the end is the Saints could only score field goals, even though they sacked the other quarterback twice in 2 plays. It was like one play and then the next play, the dude got sacked both times by the Saints. So, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I mean, the defense was on fire. So, I don't know. Defense, I don't know. They can score points, but only, you know. All right. Whoops. So, since it's Sunday, I was supposed to work 9 to 6 today, but I ended up, my wife had a migraine. Her and I worked together. She had a migraine, so I ended up going in for her. And so I got to work the morning shift, so 5 to 3. So I got off nice and early, so that I do a live stream. Um, you know, I thought I'd have more to like say or talk about right now, but I guess I don't. Anyway, I got a nice pumpkin in the background here, so maybe if we do a late night live stream, we'll see some more action. Hopefully, we'll get some more possums and less rats. So I'm drinking a beer since I got off nice and early. Drinking this Luchador beer, this Pepe Loco. Some good stuff. Let's see, I just want some news. Why is it so hard to find news nowadays? You know what we did last time? We kind of commented on people. So let's go here. So there's a lot of live stuff going on right now. Someone's playing God of War, the old, not the old ones, but like the old one for the new gen of systems. That was one of my favorite games. I love God of War. I loved all the games. And when they came out with the new one for the PS4, it was so awesome. I was like, God, I don't know how many hours I played that game. The same thing with like Red Dead Redemption 2. That game is so awesome. I haven't played video games in a really long time. I have a PS4. I never got a PS5, because of how crazy it was to try to get one. Maybe I'll try to get one this year for Christmas or something. But like I rarely play video games anymore. I mostly just use it to stream, and I barely watch shows anymore. Like everything sucks nowadays, dude. Like I don't know if you guys have checked out the new Lord of the Rings show, but that's a pretty big disappointment. I made it like halfway through the first episode. I'm a pretty hardcore Tolkien purist. So it had nothing to do with like what they were, trying to do or whatever, but I don't know. I'm pretty like I said, I'm a Tolkien purist. I know like, it's an adaptation and you can take your liberties and whatnot, but I mean, Peter Jackson took his liberties and he made some pretty awesome movies. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's like no good TV shows. All the good old TV shows are only going to like specific network like streaming services like The Office. You can only get if you have the NBC streaming service, and then there's like other things that you can only get if you get the HBO streaming service or whatever. So I mean, I run Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix, and that's it. And like, I don't know. I guess we've been watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was pretty good, but I don't know. These later seasons are kind of getting, you know what I mean? Like the rest of all the shows that are going on right now. So I don't know about all that. So yeah, maybe I'll get a PS5. That's the point of that rant there. All right, let's check it out. Let's get real right now. So I've excuse me. I've been reading this book right here called How to Make a Monster and Why No One Cares by Paul Glasco. It's a really good book so far. I'm about halfway through. And it pretty much goes through, well, let me read you the synopsis that they have in the back. In recent years, the United States has seen much more attention in the media and in political circles directed at rampage killings. In most cases, the call is to ban or limit gun ownership amongst millions of innocent law-abiding gun owners in America who protect themselves and their families daily with these very same firearms. In this book, Paul does the difficult work that lazy opportunists won't do in digging deep to try to determine the true root cause of why one human decides to murder another human. As long as the sorry, I got a funny accent, and as long as the desire to kill is still there, the tool utilized to take a life has no bearing on the final outcome or in preventing future killings. If we aren't seeking out the true root cause of rampage killings, are we serious about solving them? So he pretty much tries to break down. I also got a signed copy there. It's also, he doesn't try to, he does do this. He goes down and goes through like the causes, like broken homes, bullying, not political, but policy and law, like the No Child Left Behind Act, and the effects that had on children and things like that. And then we get into the medication of children, especially with SSRIs. Like those really mess with you, and especially on a developing brain. There's the bullying, which I mentioned. A lot of schools have zero tolerance policy, so oftentimes the person that's getting bullied just gets in as much trouble as the person that gets bullied. So there's really no incentive to stop bullying. You know what I mean? So he gets into it, and then what he also does is he goes through all of the most prevalent or well-known rampage shootings. Like, for instance, he starts with the first one, Columbine. And he goes through, like, the Parkland guy. I don't really want to mention anybody's names because they're all pieces of shit. So I'm not going to do that. But he goes through and he finds all of these things with these kids that committed these atrocities by going through the things he laid out in the previous chapters, such as the home life, if there's a father in the home, if if the kid was bullied, if he was an outcast, if he was put on these medications, and what ends up happening is all of them have like 90 to 100% of of the criteria. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty interesting. And then he gets into like how so these things happen, so we get policy push that's kind of ridiculous. For instance, gun-free zones. There was the I forget, I think it was called the Aurora, Colorado shooting. Where that was the one with the Batman movie. Well, that person, that piece of shit, specifically said that he was planning on going to another place, but he decided to choose this theater. Sorry, I had some notifications. Specifically because it was a gun-free zone. So he knew he would have no resistance. Like all those things are a sign to say that, there's no resistance here. That's what those are. Those are no resistance signs. That's what they should say. They should have, the Beretta with the X, and it should say no resistance here. It's just, it's a really good read. I recommend everybody take a look at it. You can get the digital version on Amazon for pretty cheap, I believe. But it goes into like red flag laws. Like it's like a snowball rolling downhill. Introduce these crazy policy to try to ban the guns, to restrict the weapons, to make it hard for law-abiding citizens, law-abiding people who just want to protect themselves, their families, and others from getting these tools. And the red flag laws specifically are pretty ridiculous. There's no constitutionality to them at all. There's no due process, and it's ridiculous. And then you go into what they call AWB. I don't want to give the whole name because I don't, YouTube. But that doesn't. There are more of these incidents caused with handguns than there are with rifles. Banning a rifle, I mean, and these policies that you could just see, just open your eyes and open your ears, and you see that they don't work. Even the FBI and the CDC, government sources have specifically said that there have been more defensive use of firearms than they have been, murders by them. They also lie about the numbers, about the gun deaths, because they count suicides in those. And suicide is awful. If anybody's going through anything like that, you should reach out to somebody. You could reach out to me. It's all good. There's definitely the hotlines. They're pretty anonymous. I'll leave a description in the box below when I'm done with this. I mean, I'll leave a number and link in the description after the stream. But yeah, you could always email me. My email address is on the About Me section of my page. I'm also on Instagram. I got Zoom. If you just need somebody to talk to, we can talk. Anyway, they count suicides in the number, and that's more than half of the deaths that they count. So it's kind of an unfair counting. So there's that. They're also changing definitions of what mass shootings are. There's a lot of funny business going on. So yeah. Well, with that, I guess we'll segue into it's Halloween. I mentioned this the other day. But Halloween is on a Monday this year. And for all those kids out there looking forward to fucking around, that straight up sucks. Because y'all got school the next day. So that sucks. I don't know. I think maybe on years where Halloween is not on like a Friday or a Saturday night, we should observe it on a Friday or a Saturday, for the kids, because that's what it is. It's the kids' holidays. I mean, Halloween was awesome. You got to, live up your fantasies for a night. You get to dress up. I remember one year I was very young. I was maybe 12 or 13. I think I was in the 5th or 6th grade. However old you are in the 5th or 6th grade. And Star Wars Episode 1 had just come out. Excuse me. And, had Darth Maul. He was that fucking badass Sith Lord dude, And my mom was dating this, like, artist guy, or, like, I don't know. He was real, like, artistic and stuff. So he made me like this really badass homemade Darth Maul costume. He like put one of those like bald wigs on me. It's like, you know, those wigs, but they don't have hair. And then he like did all the makeup and shit. And then he made like this mold, and then he casted with silicone all of those little horns and shit. And that was pretty cool. And I had like the double bladed lightsaber and everything. I wonder if my mom still has pictures of that, because that was pretty cool. And like, it was a pretty cool Halloween. My sister was the queen or whatever, the senator. And my little brother was Anakin with the helmet and the goggles and stuff, and the pod racer. So yeah, that was good times. And then let's see, I don't remember any Halloweens before that. And I don't remember any Halloweens after that until probably about high school, when we would just go trick-or-treating and, you know, fuck around. I got a funny story about that now. So I remember, God, I must have been like a junior in high school. And where I'm from, in the Southwest, the night before Halloween, I guess it's like an old school tradition from like my mom's generation, but they call it Beggar's Night. And, you know, I guess the premise there is like some kids would go out the night before Halloween and like try to get some candy from people. So we lived in like this subdivision with like the HOA and shit. Shout out HOA PD. And so it was like a really big, really nice, like subdivision, like neighborhood with the cookie cutter houses. And I had this friend named Dirty Steve and this friend named Ben. And Ben was kind of weird, and like his mom wouldn't let him like come out with us on Halloween night because she knew we'd go and like fuck around and get into trouble and stuff. But she let him hang out with us the night before. So we were like, shit. All right, let's try this shit. So we grabbed some pillowcases, and this dude Ben Dirty Steve was kind of an introvert too. So they're both like introverts, and I had this brilliant plan for Ben. So I was like, all right, let's grab some pillowcases, let's go door to door, and we'll just tell them. So we straight up start knocking on doors, knock, knock. Hey, trick or treat. They're all, hey, you're a night early. I'm like, yeah, I started explaining my friend Ben here. I just made up this shit. It's against his religion to trick or treat on Halloween. So me and my friend Steve are taking him out the night before, just trying to get him some candy, you know, have some fun. And man, we fucking cleaned house. We got so much candy that night before. And it was pretty funny because my U.S. history teacher that year lived in our neighborhood, and we fucking got to his house, and we didn't know he lived in the neighborhood till then. And straight up, he fucking busted us. He was like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. But he was cool as hell. It was Mr. Strong was his name. He had this like long curly hair. He was like this hippie dude, but I think he was like a red-pilled hippie or something because, you know, history teacher. But yeah, he was cool. He didn't give out candy. He gave out like those like rave bracelets, you know, like those light up, those like glow stick bracelets. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, otherwise we just fucked around. I remember one thing we used to do was pretty shitty because we live in that HOA, you know, subdivision. But the houses are like 4 feet apart from each other, you know, and like 90% of people have their lights on and are trick-or-treating, and there are kids all over the fucking streets. It's like, it looks like it's in like a movie, like fucking Edward Scissorhands when everybody's trick-or-treating. That's what the shit looked like. It's like a movie. Didn't realize it then until now, thinking back at it. But we'd go to houses, and if nobody answered the door or anything, everybody had a hose pipe, like a water spigot on the outside. And so if nobody would answer the door and give us candy, we'd fucking turn on their water and fucking take off running. Little tiny wet bandits and shit. It was funny. Once we'd get caught sometimes by like somebody across the street. Hey, turn that off, you know. get busted, but whatever, we go turn it off. But that was a good time. So that was before we started drinking and, you know, partying and stuff. So we were always fucking around, I guess, having good times. Oh man, what else? Oh, in the other stream I was saying I've been like studying tarot cards for a while. And for a while, I mean since I was 13. So it's something a lot of people don't know about me and a lot of people find really surprising, which, yeah, I mean, come on. But I was thinking maybe on Halloween I'll do like, you know, a tarot card live stream. I have a EDC size deck of tarot cards, and you know, it's like a EDC size of like the regular size deck of cards that I like to use. So I was thinking maybe I'd do a tarot reading on a live stream or something. You know what? It's October 16th and I still got mosquitoes buzzing around all over me. It's crazy. Like today, it was so humid. It was like 72 degrees, but God, it was so humid. Sweating my balls off. And it sucks because it had started cooling down here. But, you know, Louisiana, subtropical. We're about to come up on winter here. Winter here is like a non-winter. We get like 5 days of cold. No, I'm just kidding. It's a little more than that, but it rarely gets below like 34. Like we get a freeze warning like maybe every 2 years. So we were kind of surprised actually. Last year we got a freeze warning. And I should have believed him, but I was like, nah. Even my wife was like, hey, you think we should bring all the plants in? And I was like, nah, I think it'll be all right. Well, it fucking froze and it killed all of her plants. Let me show you the backyard real fast because she has a lot of really cool plants back here. So, you know, she's got this purple thing here that's going on. She's got all this cool stuff. Let's see. Let me turn the camera around. Is there a way to do that? Here we go. All right. So this one, it's a pineapple plant. This little vine here, this one is cool, this purple vine. And we got another pineapple plant. So we lost a couple aloes. We got a bunch of hibiscus here. They're all about to bloom here soon. So that's going to be really cool. And then we got one of these giant purple things going on. Another big aloe. We have, I had a pineapple here somewhere. Anyway, like a real pineapple, like they harvest and eat. She's got a couple of those up in the front yard. But we had a huge one. Like that thing, it must have been 6 feet in diameter. Like that thing was fucking huge and it died in the freeze. So that sucked pretty bad. But, you know, she's got a lot of other things going on now. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully we had one last year, so we probably won't have one for another 2 years. We'll see. All right, I'm about halfway done with my Pepe Loco. About halfway done with this live stream, maybe. There's something else that I wanted to show you guys. So I got me one of these like trainer knives. And I've been trying to get good with my butterfly knife skills. I don't think I'm really good. Like I can't really do any of those cool like tricks where those guys like roll them through their fingers and stuff. I can't do anything like that yet, but I'm trying to learn. So I wonder if any of you guys have any like instructional like YouTubers or anybody who like teaches how to like flip like these kinds of knives and stuff. I'd be really interested. So if any of you guys, you know, just drop a name in the comment. This is one I learned, the around the thumb. See, now that I'm on the spot, I can't do it. So you do it like that, like that, like that, and then I flip, and then I go around the thumb. Ooh, hit myself in the nuts. But yeah, so I also got like, I don't have it with me, but it's a little pen that you write with, but it's shaped like a little butterfly knife. So I have one of those that I like to have at work so I can try to practice. That's where I learned how to do that thumb flip around, was on that tiny little pen, like getting that going around my thumb. So that was cool. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I want to try, maybe I should try to practice with my left hand too, because I try to, what if my main hand ever gets injured and I need my support hand, you know what I mean? Let's see, another one that I learned, like to do it upside down. And then we got this quick action. Let's see if I could do it on the side. There we go. Got that quick action. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this too, because I'm like a former knife guy. I used to be really, really hard into knives, like Benchmades and Spydercos, and I used to, be into all that. Well, check this thing out. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus. So that is a Benchmade insignia on this trainer butterfly knife. So I got this on like Geek or Wish or one of those like Chinese like sites where they sell all the knockoff shit for like $3. And so I've had this thing for like years, and I've barely just started using it, but it's held up pretty well. It's like solid. It's just metal, It's a trainer Bolasong or however you say it, So anyway, you guys buy any stuff from those Geek or Wish apps or sites? Sometimes I find some interesting stuff on there, and then I try to like find like a better version on like Amazon or somewhere else. I haven't bought anything in a really long time, mostly because the shipping on that shit is as much as the product is, and you think you're paying like $6 for a hat, you end up paying 12. You might as well go to the hat store and buy a hat for 16, and get a good hat. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I got to say about that. When I was making like a lot of those paracord bracelets and stuff, I used to get a lot of things from Wish, like rubber tubing in bulk. That's good, especially if you're doing your own slingshot rubber. That's a good place to get like tubes. That's where I get the really thin black latex tubes to make my slingshots that shoot the little .177 BBs. That's where I get that rubber. So that's a good place. I haven't bought any sheets of latex. I usually just go to Simple Shot for my latex sheets, and then I cut my own bands usually because I like a taper. I usually do a 3/4 to a 1/2 inch taper. Excuse me, let me drink some water. And so anyway, I usually do a 3/4 to a 1/2 inch taper on my bands, so I get a faster release. It just brings the feet per second up, hits a little harder, especially if you're using like lead shot or something like that, like lead balls. I usually shoot steel, but if you're gonna do some hunting, you should probably look into some lead, or even like casting your own lead, like 3/8 inch steel balls are usually what I go with. So you might want to go with like something a little bit smaller with lead if you're going for the same weight. And then with your bands, your slingshot bands, you're really the width of them and the thickness and everything like that. What you're building your band set for is the weight of the projectile, not the size of it. So if you have like a 1/4 inch or a 3/8 lead ball that weighs as much, okay, that's a bad example. If you have like a 1/4 inch lead ball and a 3/8 inch steel ball and they weigh the same, the band set that you make specifically for that, for a 3/8 steel, if you decide you want to go hunting or something like that and you want to switch to lead, you go to 1/4 inch lead, you could theoretically use the same band set. That's kind of a bad example. You might want to do something a little bit bigger, like 5/8 and then like 1/2 inch might be a better, or 1/2 inch and 3/8. So let's do that. A 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch shot, 1/2 inch steel shot would weigh roughly about the same as like 3/8 lead. So you could do that. I like to set up a slingshot with what you call it, with the thinner bands, and I usually do tubes actually for the little .177 BBs, because you could buy 4,000 of those for like $5, and you can practice all day long. When you start getting into the bigger steel balls, like 3/8 or even 1/4 inch, like they start getting really expensive, especially now economically where we're at. Yeah, so there's that. Anyway, guys, I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, running out of steam. I just thought I'd hop on here for a little bit. Yeah, so thanks for checking me out. If anybody knows, again, of any instructional places, videos for flipping these Bolasong knives, let me know, and I'll check it out. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit that thumbs up button. If you watched on Rumble, hit that Rumble button. And yeah, subscribe, and remember, stay well regulated.